Good morning, good morning. Welcome to my new channel. I'm LaShawn, ADHD Cutie, and this is all about moms who are sailing solo, cruising solo without their children, their experiences, that guilt, that anticipation, the worrying, the I shouldn't be doing this. I'm a bad mom for doing this. All of that and how they got over it and they're going. They're putting themselves first for a change so they can come back renewed, refreshed, and a better mom. I am so excited and so proud to introduce my very first guest, Miss Renee Robley, also known as Renz.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining me on my very first episode.
No problem at all.
Welcome. So are you a single mom or no?
Yes. Well, technically,
Okay.
yes. Me and my
Okay.
son live together. Yes.
Okay. So she, like me, is a single mom to a neurodivergent son. Her
Yes.
son has autism. My son has ADHD, but my son is grown and gone doing his own thing. Her son is only, what, 7, correct?
He's 7 and he has autism and ADHD.
Both. Okay, yeah,
Yes.
because a lot of times ADHD walks with something else. It's
Yes.
usually a comorbidity that goes with it.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about a little bit about your son's condition,
Mm-hmm.
and then move us into how you came about really getting to the point where I really need to take a break without him.
Okay. My son, he is 7. We got diagnosed. He was about 5. He's actually on his 5th birthday after a year of me kind of letting everybody know something doesn't feel right. We're kind of having a little bit more difficulty than I think we should be having, and he is high functioning. So, everybody was like, oh no, he's going to grow out of it, but we weren't. So eventually we got his autism and ADHD, with ADHD being the bigger issue for him,
Mhm.
which
Mhm.
comes with a lot of hyper focus, some behavioral issues, mimicking, and a lot of things where he is, he needs a little bit more guidance to get through the day. So we are heavily in therapies every day, which takes up a lot of our scheduling time. He has a few feeding issues, focused sensory issues. So some foods we only eat short list of things. Um, so it's been a lot. This journey has been a lot of things. Even just finding out, testing, and everything has been a lot for us. And we have finally kind of got into a rhythm, with me with work, with my side hustle, him with school, and
Mhm.
his
That work-life balance.
work-life balance. We've After
Okay.
2 years, we finally be able to see it come into an easy pattern for both of us to function.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So for me, I just it was tiring. It's tiring as a parent because it doesn't stop for you. Your brain is always,
Right.
you need to know what to do next. You're trying to figure out what this is, what you need to do best for him. It's new. So some of the things you don't know, it's a lot of discovery and everything going on, and you get tired. And eventually I was like, I need a
Yeah.
break.
Hmm.
I need a break. He's doing fine, but I need to be able to relax for
Hmm.
myself without him. And that's
Yes.
easier. It's easier
Yes.
said than done.
Yes.
So it's
Right.
way easier
Right.
said than done,
That's
because
right.
I've planned a few things before. I mean, simple things to go somewhere to eat, and then that guilt of leaving him kind of always ends up superseding. I will cancel or change the date. I've
Hmm.
changed the date on this a few times. Um, but eventually you kind of realize that you cannot keep on giving if you don't have anything to give.
Something to give. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
you
got to
cannot.
replace that. You got to
That
replace that energy. You got to replace that.
Yeah, that it needs
Yes.
to
It's
happen because
like a battery. You got to keep recharging it.
yeah, you have to keep recharging. And I wasn't doing that, and I decided I was going to do. I need to recharge, regardless of
Hmm.
all the anxiety that I have going on, because the anxiety is still bigger than Right now, my
Yeah.
anxiety for it is still bigger than going on it, but I am
Oh yeah.
fighting through it personally. Like, you need this for yourself. You're not doing anything
Mm.
wrong.
Right.
You're not
Right.
doing anything wrong. It's
That's
not
the big piece. There's nothing wrong with you taking time
taking
for
time.
yourself away
Yeah.
from your children. There's
I
nothing
think
wrong with that.
I think that's a major thing for any parent.
Yes.
Every parent and a parent of a neurodivergent child is like, would somebody be able to fulfill what he needs? Somebody who isn't around him all the time, would they understand what he needs when he says something, or understand that he doesn't
Right.
need
Right.
sauce on his chicken? Like these little things that you just want to make sure
Yeah. Little things.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That he's comfortable and
that
okay.
he's
Yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. Okay, so you have your first cruise without him coming up. When is that going to be?
In March. Yeah, next year. So I still have a little time to
So March
get.
of 2025. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. You got time to. Yeah. Okay. And you're going to be going on the fabulous Virgin Voyages, correct?
Yes, and that is the excitement
Virgin
alone is
Voyages.
kind of getting me through, the anxiousness.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes, that's what it is. Because eventually, as you get closer, you'll still have that anxiety, but you'll be getting so excited
excited. Yeah.
about going on this ship. And for anybody who doesn't know, Virgin Voyages doesn't allow children. You
No,
have to be at
no
least
kids allowed.
18 years
Yeah,
old, no children. So the only guilt you have is what you bring on board with you because there's not going to be anybody else's children around
exactly.
to bring up or trigger that guilt for
That
you.
guilt.
There's
Yeah,
no children, period. There's no children's activities, no children's food, no children's menu, nothing to
yeah,
remind you of children. It is a good and grown adult vacation. So the conversations are going to be different. They're going to be
you.
talking like you would talk if there were no children in the room, okay? You don't have
Yeah,
to watch what you say.
yeah,
What I understand, they don't watch what they say. The
yeah,
entertainment is different. For anybody who's been on a cruise with your child, this experience is going to be completely different. Please do not compare.
yes,
Do
yes. I'm
not
excited.
compare. Don't even look to compare because I'm telling you, everything is different because
Yeah,
there are no children aboard. And Sir Richard Branson created it that way.
yes,
It's that way for a reason. That is the perfect environment for you as a single mom to finally really get away and take a break. You can literally take a real break.
yes.
You won't
I'm
have your
excited.
child and you won't be around anybody else's children.
Anybody else? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what steps have you taken to get to this point? So, you're completely booked right now? Yes?
Yeah. I'm completely
Okay.
booked. Um, but as I say, we still have some time out. I have not told him yet because he will hyper focus on it because that's one of his.
On it, yeah.
He will hyper focus on it and it will come up every time, and it will it will make both of us anxious. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have no plan to tell him about it until closer when I will start to ease it in and explain to him what is going to
Mm-hmm.
happen. He needs a schedule. He depends
Yeah.
heavily on schedule time. So by
Yes.
then I will have been able to put everything in place to tell him exactly what is going to happen for me and what is going to
Mm-hmm.
happen for him.
For him. Mm-hmm.
I will also, whoever is helping me out while I'm gone, will be able to start incorporating them into our regular schedule so that they get accustomed and that I also feel comfortable that they are accustomed to, they have the schedule down pat because we kind of have to stick to schedule with him
All
to
right.
not
Absolutely.
cause, yeah,
Absolutely.
to not cause any kind of break for him in what he's accustomed doing.
All right. Now, this person he's going with, has he been with them before?
Oh
He's
yeah, so
familiar
it's
with them
family.
too?
Yeah, yeah. So it's family, but they
The
know they live
same.
in Cassis, they wouldn't have known of our schedule before because they're just looking in for the most part or contributing at the higher level. But for the smaller
Okay.
thing, the little details,
Little
fine
things.
fine
Yeah.
print, yeah, we'll kind of need to get them in on the know that
So he's never spent the night with them, or
No, not we have never been separated like that for nights or anything. He would spend days,
Okay.
a few hours during the day and that kind of
And
stuff,
come
but
back home.
overnight
Yeah.
I come back home. So we will also I will also get that done like earlier in the year.
Right.
Start
Yeah.
those nights
Yeah. So have
over,
him do like a practice run to
practice runs of it.
maybe
Yeah.
go over there for overnight or a weekend or
Overnight
something like
and
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
a weekend and
Yeah.
let's
That's a good
build
idea.
it up and get him
That's
accustomed
a
to
good
that.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know when I was doing it with my son, like I said, he's not autistic, but he is
Yeah.
ADHD. So um I took because I wanted well, I had never planned to do a cruise without him when I
Yes.
did it.
Yeah.
I did I did my first cruise without him when he was 13, but it
Okay.
wasn't planned and it wasn't solo. I went with a
Yeah.
friend, but I went without him.
Yeah.
And literally 2 weeks before that cruise, I took him on his first cruise. This was
Okay.
our first cruise, both of us,
Yeah.
period. So it was a surprise and a really nice way to vacation. We loved it. And so we went for it was a short cruise because we wanted to try it out to see how
Try it
both of
out.
us
Yeah.
could handle it. I know that I have a really, really nauseous nervous system, so I
Yeah.
wanted to do it short to make sure I was going to be okay. Wasn't sure how he was going to handle it, so we made it a short cruise. And of course, after we got back, we loved it so much. Excuse me. We wanted to do a longer one. And so I
Yeah.
would start planning that for the next year. And then literally 2 weeks after we got back, a friend called and say, "Hey, you want to go on a cruise? Person I was going to go with can't go. Do you want to go?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "Sure." So I checked with him to make sure he was
It was
okay. Excuse me, because I was going to be on the ship during his actual birthday.
oh, okay. Yes.
Even
That's
though even though the cruise I took him on was for his birthday, it
it was
was
before.
early.
Yeah.
It was actually before his
Yeah.
birthday, but I wanted him to have that. And so he said he was okay. Of course, I got an earful when I got back because they can change their minds. They may say
yeah.
they're okay, but while you're gone,
Yeah.
it's a different
It's a
story.
different thing.
I
If
made
you're
sure
okay.
I called. I made sure I called him on his birthday, and of course, I had an earful there. I can't believe you left me on my birthday, but I took you 2 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh, kids, they are.
So
Yeah.
so it's that, and I was a little worried and feeling bad, but I knew he was in good hands. That was the main thing. I knew he was in good hands. I knew he was safe. I knew he would be taken very well
Yeah. So it's not
and
even that
taken
I'm
care of very
worried
well.
about
So,
them taking care of him either. I think it's just your own anxiety of how
mhm.
of
I've never
thinking
been away from him.
doing
Yeah,
as well as you could also.
right,
So to
right.
be honest, that is not even going to be a worry. I am not worried that he'll be treated any other way but what he needs. But
Hmm.
it's just still it's the first time and
Yeah, yep,
you have that worry, and
absolutely. Yeah,
it will also
yeah.
it will also help with their independence, a little bit more, not dependent on
Hmm.
mommy all the time. So
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's really good for them to help them
yeah,
gain that independence
yeah.
because mommy's not always going to be
We're
there.
gonna be there exactly.
Mommy's
So.
not always going to be there, so they're going to have to start to learn
But
how to do more and more on their
and
own
be
without
with
mom.
different personality types, because I could make you do something one way, and somebody else could just make you do something a different way. That is wrong, but it's just a different way, thing, and
Different,
it's
right? Yeah,
exposure to these
adjusting. Yeah,
different.
it's
Yeah,
like in school. It's like in school. They're doing things one way at school, and when they get
they
home,
come up with something
mommy may explain it a different way, and they do it that way. But at school, they expect you to do it
to do
their
different.
way.
So
Yeah,
be able
that's
to
a good
adapt
thing.
and that kind of thing. So those are all the things I'm using. Those are the positive things I'm using to quell my anxiousness.
Hmm. Now, do you plan to take him like on a special day out with just him somewhere or on a weekend trip or something like that before you go?
No,
Or
I did not plan really to do anything too much because I really don't want to make it too much of a deal.
hmm.
I'm trying to, I will talk to him about it, yes, but I don't want to make it too much of an exciting thing for me. I just want it to be a
Hmm.
mellow exit. I will probably leave while he's in school. I think that would be the best way instead of saying him me leaving on an evening when he's home, or he went to school and he comes back, I'm not
Mm,
here, and I think that transition is better for him. Personally, for my son, I think that's the best way for me to not be here for that trip.
mhm,
Also,
mhm,
while on the trip, I don't think I would speak to him every day. Just to trigger him again, to just get into any kind of mood while I'm away. Again,
mhm,
this is
mhm.
specific to my son. Everybody's kids are different, but I know how he
Right.
is. If he hears me and he can't, he would be hyper focused on when are you coming back every time he speaks to me, and I don't want that
Exactly. Yeah.
the experience for him while I'm
Right.
gone.
Right.
Yeah. So
It's going to be different for each mom and for each
yeah,
kid. A mom could have two
two
kids
kids
that
and
have
two
a
different things.
neurodivergent diagnosis. You're still going to
Yeah,
handle each kid differently.
different.
You
Yep.
do it the way you know your kid better than anybody. You do it the way that's best for you.
Yes.
So now about the cruise. What are you looking forward to the most?
The food, as you know, as I mentioned, I'm a food blogger. I eat.
Yes.
I love cooking. But I love eating more. So somebody else cooking for me that was the main reason I looked at Virgin, because I've heard about
Mm-hmm.
the restaurants all being 4-star and up, and
Mm-hmm.
like that's the only plan I haven't thought about excursions. I haven't thought
Yeah.
about shows. I am just like, okay, I need to figure out when it opens how I can book to experience all these restaurants in the time that I have. You know?
Yeah, because you can do them all. They're all
Yes,
included pretty much.
yes.
They're
So that is
almost
my
all
plan. To
included. So you can
ten,
go to
12.
every single one of them.
Yes, my
There's no
plan.
buffet, people. There's no buffet.
Great. Like I am so excited about that. And
About
even
that,
also
yes. Oh my
about
God.
eating at my stops, whatever stop. I'm in the Caribbean. So every island, I am originally from Trinidad and Tobago. So I will be
Mm-hmm.
stopping at every one of those islands. I'll be searching on for food as local as possible. I'm not trying to
Mm-hmm.
be too much of a tourist.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to see who I can connect with out through my social and have them like give me that authentic visit when I get to the islands. But on Virgin, it's the food and the food.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I took my very first solo cruise this past New Year's Eve.
Hmm.
I absolutely loved it. I mean, I wasn't happy about all the kids, but I knew what to expect. I
What to
already
expect?
was
Yeah.
expecting it, so it is what it is. But I purposely booked one of their studio
Okay.
suites,
Yeah.
the studio cabins, so that because they're separated sort of. On Norwegian they have a separate
You have
section for
okay.
studio
Oh, okay.
cabins. You
Just
have
to
to
the
have a
okay.
special key to get into the section.
Okay.
And so for me, I love that part because with my ADHD, it can be too much
Too much.
sometimes. I
Mm-hmm.
love having the fun. I love to get
Or
out
you
there
need
and
your time.
mingle, but sometimes it can just be
Yeah.
overwhelming. Too many people, too loud, just
Yeah.
too much going on, and I need to step away.
Yeah.
And so I'll I'll make it a point when I first get on the ship. I'm looking for these different little
Serious.
tuck away places that if I need to just step away from all the everything, I can just sit here for a while
Yeah.
because you don't always feel like going back to your
Going
cabin. I
back to
know
your
I
cabin.
sometimes the cabin is just yeah, that's just too far. If I go
Yeah.
back to the cabin, I'm there for the rest of the night. It's too far. So, but I was able to do that, and I do that when I'm on the ships anyway, especially as my son got older. Even if he's with me, if I
Yes.
need to take a break, I'll let him know I'm going to be here. You go do what you want to do, but check in with me every hour or whatever so I know that you're safe. But on that solo cruise, New Year's Eve, oh, it was a blast. I tell anybody, definitely do a New Year's Eve cruise because that's like one of the holidays we never get. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to babysit. They
Nope.
just don't. Even if they don't have any plans, they're like, no.
No.
Even if
No.
they don't have
Not
any plans, they do not want to. No, they just
yeah.
don't. They don't. So I loved it. I just didn't love all the kids. But now that I know about Virgin Voyages, That is where I'll be taking my solo New Year's Eve cruise. And my
Okay,
son
yeah,
is now old enough to go with me. So if he wants to go, he can go. He's not a kid anymore.
true.
And
Yeah.
it's never been a problem with him being on vacation with me. It's never been a
Oh
problem.
yeah,
He's
no.
been the easiest kid to travel with.
Yes, my son,
Easy.
same. My son has not. We have gone on other cruises. It's not a trouble. I mean, most of the some of
Not
the
a,
time
yeah.
I need to find a quiet space, and he's ready to go still.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, but
Yes.
you still have to accommodate for them, especially at that
Hmm.
age, at 5 and 6.
Exactly, because you're still on mom duty. That's
Yeah,
my whole thing, people. Even if you take your child with you and they're no problem,
you're
you're
still on
still
that.
on mom duty. So
Yeah,
you're not getting a real break. You still got to make sure they eat. You still got to get
yeah,
them up and in the shower in
exactly.
the morning. You still got to plan whatever activities you all are going to do together. You still
Yep,
got, you can't plan an activity that he really wants to do. And then when it's time for the activity, you may not feel like it
correct.
and you
And not
cancel
do
like the last week. You can't do that when you got the kid with
exactly.
you.
Yep.
You're going to have some trouble
So,
on your hands. When you're solo cruising, you don't have to worry about any of that.
you don't want to go here. You want
I
to
actually,
go in and
well,
make.
I did like you. I did just like you. I didn't plan any excursions, not
Yeah,
one. If I felt like getting off the ship at that port, I did.
did
If
yeah,
I didn't feel like getting that, I didn't. I
yeah.
got up one day at 12 noon because I just didn't feel like
Oh,
getting up. I just wanted
that
to
sounds
lay around and do
amazing.
nothing. Yes. And
Ah,
sometimes that's what
yeah,
you want to do. You just don't want to do anything.
yeah,
And that's okay when you're solo cruising. That's what it's all about. You
yep,
make the choices for everything you want to do and don't do.
yes,
We went to a show. In the middle of the show, we were like, yeah, that's not what I expected. We got up and
I know.
left.
Yes,
It's okay. It's your
yeah,
choice. You choose. So,
yeah.
are there any shows or anything that you're particularly looking forward
No,
to on that ship?
I I have been researching the shows in the same in the group and everything, but I haven't seen much mention about shows. So I really had planned to kind of play that by ear. I did want to do a
Hmm.
spa day on one of the days,
Yeah.
like book a spa treatment and try that out.
Hmm.
But other than that, it really was going to be just winging it, whatever I feel like I do on that day. I just want to relax.
Hmm.
I don't have to think about food. I don't have to think about, oh, it's time for us to go to
Yeah.
therapy. Oh, it's time for
Cooking.
us to
Yep,
go
you
to
don't
the
have to
store.
cook.
I have to create this today. None of that. It's going to just
None of
be
that.
none of
There's
that.
no
Just
there's
be
no thinking about I have to rush home and get
yeah,
him from school. There's no
yeah.
I have to
Who
think
I
about what I'm gonna cook for dinner. There's no I gotta
yeah,
help him with his homework before I can settle in for the evening. There's none of that.
yeah.
There's no struggling with getting them up in the morning for school. You don't have to think about any of that for a whole week.
Yep.
That is what solo cruising is all about. Just
I
you.
mean,
You only have to think about you. That's what I love. I love, love,
yeah.
love, love, love that. So, so you said you don't have any excursions planned. Are there any that you interested in or thinking about at least? Maybe want to
Um,
try out?
in general, like not even specific to a specific island, probably like a yacht day or something. If they have that, a
Mhm.
catamaran trip or an island and you go, you get some food and you hang out by the beach, something like that, but not any extreme excursion. I mean, we have gone swimming with the stingrays, we have done like all of these extreme things. I don't really, I don't want to
Mhm.
take a boat for a half an hour or 2 hours to
Yeah.
get somewhere. I don't. I'm
Yep.
not. I'm not looking for that on this cruise. I am
Yep. Mhm.
just floating. you know,
Yes.
something close
Yes.
by you can drive me to. We can hang out there for the day. Get back to the ship. That's fine. But
Yep.
nothing too extreme
Absolutely.
to be done.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
I remember we on our New Year's Eve cruise, we went to Jamaica. The Jamaica
Mhm.
was one of the stops, and
Okay.
it was really stormy. Had that
Okay.
overcast the whole
Yeah.
day. I took my time getting up and getting off the ship because I knew a lot of people were going to be doing excursions. There's a lot to
Yeah.
do in Jamaica, so
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be packed with the people getting off to do those excursions. So I took my time. I didn't have anything planned. I'm like, yeah, I'll just wander around and see what I feel like doing.
Yeah.
Well, it kept raining and having this overcast, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to walk around in the rain. I don't want to walk around in the rain. So
Yeah.
I went back on the ship. I walked around a little bit, and I was like, I don't. I just want to do this. I'm wet. My shoes are wet. No, I don't want to do this. So I got back on the ship, and I had a ball because I was finally able to have the jacuzzi all
Okay.
to
So,
myself. No children. When you're on those holiday cruises,
oh yeah.
children are everywhere.
Yep.
Children are everywhere, and even though they have the rules, they've got to be a certain age. It's recommended that they shouldn't be in there when
Yeah.
they're under a certain age. All that kind of goes out the window because nobody's really monitoring it. They're just not.
Exactly.
It's just
Yeah.
kids everywhere. That day, I was able to have that jacuzzi to myself. Maybe one or two other adults were in and out,
Uh-huh.
and it was just I cannot tell you how that felt to be able to do that.
Yeah.
No children around just for that time period that we
And
were
that's
at
it.
port.
Yeah.
It was amazing. The sleep.
That. Oh my gosh.
I keep telling people about that. You get your best sleep on a cruise ship. They
I
don't believe me, but I'm like,
I
I'm
am
telling you,
waiting.
try it.
I wake at 4 o'clock every morning, and we don't. I mean, we get back home after 7 every day after
Yeah,
therapy,
yeah. See,
and
that's
get it
over
to
2
get ready for
hours.
the next day. And I am getting. I'm like, I can sleep until 11. I don't know if my body will understand how to do that, but like that's a goal, you
Yeah.
know?
Or you know what? It actually might understand how to do that because it's like, oh my God, we really need this, but we haven't had the chance.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
may very well you may because I've heard of people doing that, especially single moms who have just been going,
yeah.
running, and they finally go on the ship, and like the first day or maybe 2 days, all they want to do is just
Just
sleep
lay
and
down,
do nothing.
nothing. Yeah. So
Rest their body, rest their brain, rest their spirit. They just want to do nothing because they're always running, always going.
yeah.
I'm
Like,
excited for you, though. I tell you.
thank you. But what do
So
you've been on Virgin? What restaurants? You know, that's my main thing. Like that's my
see,
prime.
that's just it. I have not been on Virgin
What?
yet. I
You
have
haven't been
not
on
been
Virgin?
on it yet.
Oh, okay.
No, I keep planning it and planning it, but I was one of those single moms where like, I can't leave
Yeah,
him yet. I gotta take him with me. But
yeah.
he's
So
not 21 yet, so he can't
yeah,
go. So we'll just go on another ship. So I would always go on another ship and kept
and
putting
that's
it
what
off.
happened
Like,
with us
yeah,
too. Like I did that. I was thinking, and I was like, oh no, let's do something for him instead. And we end up going with Royal
yeah,
Caribbean, and then
yep,
we end up doing everything else, going here, going there.
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, where's that thought that I said that I needed from me?
For me, yeah.
You know,
And
and
I actually said next year because I do pet sitting. So I'm literally booked up for pet sitting till almost the end of the year. So I can't cruise right now,
can
even
yeah,
if I wanted to. But next year, I am putting together groups of women like us, moms with neurodivergent children who really need
need
that break, who don't necessarily want to go by themselves.
that.
You're solo cruising, meaning you're not bringing your kids.
Yes, you're
But we're
so
going to
yeah.
travel as
I
a
like
group.
that
We're going
idea.
to get to know each other as a group. We support each other
Yep.
as moms with these high needs children. And
Yeah.
we're all going to take a break together. And a lot of them I'm going to book like right before a major holiday so we don't get hit with that high fare.
Yeah.
So Mother's Day is definitely one of them that I plan to do. That's going to be the first one I plan to do. Why? Because
Mhm.
I never was able to have my Mother's Day to
But
myself
yeah.
because my son's birthday is right around Mother's Day. So
Okay.
we always would celebrate his birthday, and I'll just do a little bit for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Or we would plan something for the two of us, like in between his birthday and Mother's Day, but it
Mother's
was
Day.
never
Perfect.
my
Your
Mother's Day
yeah.
for me. So my first cruise on Virgin Voyage, if I don't do it for my birthday in February, I'm definitely going to do the group cruise for anybody who wants to go for pre-Mother's Day. So you will have your Mother's Day celebration
Yeah.
before Mother's Day. I'm hearing a lot of mothers who say as their kids get older, they didn't get a card, they didn't get a phone call, or they got a phone call at the end of the day after the child did whatever they were doing
Had to
because
do.
they're grown and they're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
So their Mother's Day is just another day now. So,
Yeah.
and I get it. I know how that feels. So this group cruise is going to be for those mothers who need that break, or those mothers who are empty nesters and their children are just,
Gone.
it was just another day. Oh yeah, today was Mother's Day. Oh yeah, yeah, you're gonna get your Mother's Day celebration before Mother's Day. So anybody who wants to know about that, please stay tuned for that. My email is on the screen, adhdkutie@gmail.com, and I'm going to be sending out some things in the descriptions of these videos as we go along to keep you all updated on the dates that I've set. It's definitely going to be on Virgin Voyage, and I really want that. I want the Valiant Lady ship because
Okay.
she's
Yeah.
on the front of the ship, okay? On the hull, baby. Black mermaid. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. That. They leave out of Miami, so that's where we're
Yeah.
leaving from. But as far as the dates and the stuff, I'll bring them up as
Let
as
it
we
go.
go along. Definitely, probably by next week, I should have all that together. So, you guys get your passports ready. Virgin Voyage, you have to have a passport. There's none of that bringing your birth certificate and driver's license. No, you have to have a
Yep.
passport
Yep.
to get on that ship. So get it ready, ladies. That's not an easy process. It's not going to happen in a couple of
It
weeks.
does
So
not, it takes a while, even though they
that's
tell you
they
that
tell
time
you that
limit
it's
goes up.
expedited and all of that.
So
Girl, start now getting that passport so you can go with us.
yeah.
Okay, Miss Renz, is there anything else you'd like to say? Let me ask you that. What would you say to that mom who is in a situation maybe worse than yours? They have a severely autistic child, or multiple children who have some kind of neurodivergence, and they desperately need that break. And they just don't see how to even think about it, much less get started planning it. What would you say to them?
Build a village. Like initially you kind of assume that your village or your people who are close by to you at the start, and sometimes that doesn't turn out to be who your village is.
Hmm.
People don't do what you hope they will do, and it's not really on them. But you build your village. You got to find those people who are either in the same position or just have a better understanding, or who literally have that innate emotion to help you. And it might be strangers. I mean, it would necessarily won't be family. It could be
Yes.
just random people who will fall in with you and build
Hmm.
that relationship, and eventually you feel comfortable to be able to, they will infiltrate into your life and you'll be comfortable. It will take that time. And you're gonna have to start small. I mean, you
Yeah.
start small. Go to the grocery store.
Or, or
Go
go out,
go to
go to a
dinner for
movie, go out to
2 hours.
dinner. Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
And eventually, like, it took me 6 years before I'm here at this point. I've had people say, "Oh, they will hold him for me, and they will keep him," or just, and I will say I'm going to something, and I will change my mind. So sometimes it's not always just even not having the help; it's yourself
Mm-hmm.
working through your own fears and getting
Mm-hmm.
to that point to realize that you cannot give and not kind of replenish that self. I mean, it turned
Yeah.
into me getting migraines and being sick. And then I'm sick and now I can't do what I'm supposed to do anyway.
Right.
I've
Right.
worked my way all through. I have a migraine for a week. And I'm literally driving, cooking, working with one eye open,
Yeah. Yeah,
because
because
I'm trying
it's
to.
you have no choice. Yeah.
So give yourself that break. It could be small. It could be just go to the coffee shop for a little bit, find someone you trust, and work through it. It's not gonna happen
Hmm.
overnight. It literally would take
And
a while before you're comfortable enough to.
and for those moms who do not have that option at all, I would say still do it. You have leave at work. If you're working, you have leave.
Yeah.
Take one of your leave days and
Yeah.
go do something
Go
while
do
your
something
child
while the
is
child is
in
wherever.
school.
True. Yep.
As soon as you drop that child off from school or the bus picks
Go
him
do
up or
something for
whatever,
yourself.
you go somewhere, drive to a beach, drive to a park, and do something for you.
Yep.
Be
You
gone
have
all day. Don't go back home and clean up and no, you go do something just for you. Something
yeah.
fun. Even if you're
Yep.
planning to do
Yep.
a cruise like we're talking about, you can still start off small. They have weekend cruises. You can do
Yep.
that. I'm
3 day,
going to have some
2 day.
groups. I'm
Yep.
going to have some groups that are doing weekend
Yeah.
cruises because I know everybody can't do a 4 and 5 and 7 day.
Yeah.
I know everybody can't do that.
Yeah.
So we're going to have some weekend cruises in the group. It'll be a travel club. But like I said, I'll give you all information as we go along. I'll actually put a newsletter together and do it that way. But yeah, I definitely hope to see you all. Definitely see you, Rands.
Yes,
The
it's gonna
groups.
be
I
exciting,
love to
but
do
once
that.
it's not around my cruise time. But yes, yes.
Yep. Okay, so I know you have another appointment, so I'm not going to hold you up, but I definitely hope you come back
Thank you
and
for
tell us
asking
about your
how it went.
experience on Virgin Voyages. I cannot wait
I will do
to
that.
hear.
I plan to share it. I plan to do as much content as I can without interfering with my vacation because
Mhm.
yeah, and hopefully I'll have a grand time on there.
I think you will.
Yeah.
I think you will. I know with the New Year's Eve cruise, I was thinking, like you said, I wanted to do all this footage and do all this stuff. And I'm like, you get all caught up in that, you're still not relaxing.
Yeah, yep. It takes a lot because, as I said, I create content on that. That's my other thing, and I do, and it takes a lot
Uh-huh.
of time and a lot of
It
energy,
takes, yeah,
and
it does.
it takes the fun out of it sometimes. And I don't want that. The
Yes,
point of this is for me to have fun, and I don't want it to
yes,
overtake with getting content
absolutely.
done. But I'll do my best.
Absolutely.
I'll do my best.
I'm yeah, I'm good at taking the pictures and videos because I just naturally do that anyway.
Yeah, but it's
But
putting
like
it
you said,
together.
as content creators coming back and putting all that together, no, no.
Yeah.
I haven't done mine yet, and it's almost so it'll be New
Yeah, it
Year's
takes
Eve
a
again
lot of work.
soon. I'm like, I
Yeah,
just yeah. So
yeah. So,
I'll
thank you
get
for
it done eventually, but it's going to be different. My
yeah.
ADHD brain is putting it together differently, so it's going to be different. It's not going to be the typical ship review and all of that. It's going to be from the point of a single mom taking a cruise without her child.
Well, child.
That's what it's going to be about.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to frame it. So be on the lookout for that. It's coming. I know I keep saying that, but it's coming. So, okay, so any last words you'd like to say, Rand? Anything?
Any parents with an ND child of any sort, of those who are just starting out, I remember how frustrating it was for me trying to figure out what was going on with my son and trying to get the help needed. It's a journey, but you will get through it. There's light at the end of the tunnel. And once it took us 4 years to get to where I'm comfortable and we're in a good oiled machine, it gets there. It
Yes,
gets there
routines
and
are
it
so
gets better.
important.
And I wish you all the best. Some days are really tough, and some days you're like, oh, this is great, and then that tough day comes right back and
Mhm.
you're on the floor. But hey, you know that there
Yeah,
are good
never.
days that happen, and eventually you just kind of need a pivot, and don't try to plan too far ahead. That
Hmm.
was my problem too. I was thinking so far ahead that my anxiety was getting way ahead of me, and I just gotta figure out how to take it one day at a time, and it got easier.
Yes, yeah. And the
Yeah,
more you do it, the easier it'll
it
be.
easier to be, and
Yeah,
sometimes how
and
you go
once,
in, how you
yeah,
approach it might be the way, and you have to change, and so you have to kind of know that you're gonna have to pivot, and don't be too hard on
hmm,
yourself. If you try one way and it fails, you gotta try something
try
else.
something else. Yes, yep,
Yeah.
try something else. Yeah, and so for those mothers who are like Ren's, this is your first time away from your child, and you're still on the fence about it. 'Cause she's booked and ready to go, but if you haven't even gotten that far, Remember, your child needs this just as much as you do.
Yeah.
They don't think like that, but you know they do. They need that time away from you to become independent and know that they're going to be okay when mommy's not around. And mommy will be back.
Yeah.
You need that to release that frustration, that overwhelm, that burnout. You need to release all of that, even anger sometimes, because frustration can turn into anger if you can't
Very
release
much.
it, if you can't take a break. It
Yeah.
is what it is. We're human. Give yourself that grace and know that you deserve this break. If you have to start off small with just a weekend cruise, then do that. If you can't do the cruise or if you're not into cruising, go
Find something.
overnight somewhere. Go to a local hotel that you've been dying to try
Yep.
and just go stay overnight over there. I used to do that a lot. Whenever my son would go with his godparents or one of his friends as he got older, I would go to a hotel and people were like, well, why are you going to spend the money? Go to your hotel and you can just go home. That's the whole point. At home, I still have to cook. At
Yep.
home, I still have to
You
make
find
bed.
something to do.
At home, I still have to clean up. I don't have to do any of that at a hotel. Somebody's doing it for me. I'm getting waited on. Someone's taking care of me for a change. And just because my son's not there doesn't mean I don't have stuff to do at home. I do. And we as moms, we find stuff to do, even if we don't have stuff to do. But we have stuff to do. There's always something to clean up and fix up. And I don't have to do any of that when I'm away from home.
Yeah.
So, ladies, know that you deserve that. Do that. And I definitely hope that you decide to join me on some of these cruises. I really look forward to meeting you. Those of you who are doing it, please reach out to me, ADHDKUTIE at gmail.com. I would love to hear your story. I would love to speak to you like I am with Rand. I really want to hear from you. If you're a single mom, if you're a mom, period, with a neurodivergent child, you may be a caregiver, you may be a foster parent, a guardian, you may be a grandparent who is now taking care of that neurodivergent child because your child is unexpectedly passed away or is incarcerated or is physically unable to do it for whatever reason. Reach out to me. I would love to hear your stories. Miss Renz, thank you again
Thank
so
you.
very much.
Thank you.
And I
No
wish you
problem.
so much luck. I'm praying for you and your
Thank
journey.
you very much.
Definitely look forward to hearing about it when you get back.
Yes. Yes.
Okay?
All
Thank you,
right.
everyone, for joining us and enjoy the rest of your week.
Bye.